Hello, I am Doug Lilly, and everything is chaos. You're watching the weekly Rocksmith dev stream, where we play this week's DLC. This week we have three songs from the early 2000s. We like to call it the 2000s Mix Song Pack 5. We're going to have some prizes coming up later on. We're going to talk about the songs and have an extra song in addition to the three that we talked about. All that's coming up later, but right now let's take a look at the 2000s Mix 5 right now on Rocksmith. And welcome back. I remain Doug Lilly, your Rocksmith community developer. And with me I have two other members of the Rocksmith team. Hello, Brian Shu and Anthony Martinez.
Hello, Doug.
How are you both doing?
Hi. Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Excellent.
It was Toy Machine was wagering that I might be playing bass on this one. We're going to start, by the way, with the song that we're starting with. What are we doing, Brian Shu?
We are doing Blink-182, Always.
Always.
Yeah.
So I've said this to a few people, and the bass line on this track reminds me a lot of the Joy Division bass lines. Just mostly because of the double stops, and it's sort of melodic, but
for sure.
Not quite. It's not quite as upfront as those Joy Division tracks, but they have a similar feel for it.
I would say that kind of bass playing is really idiomatic of Blink-182, and a lot of like early pop punk from the 90s, especially in power trio formats, just because it's to fill out a lot of sound that way when the bass player's also playing kind of chordally. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bands that kind of do that sort of thing, but Blink-182 is definitely the first that jumps to mind when I think like bass double stops.
Yeah.
I feel like it works well in a trio format, especially if the guitar work is arpeggiated. You know, it's spread thin and it's more melodic, and then the bass sort of handles the harmonic progression with double stops and like almost like power chord figures and thirds.
Yeah, Mark Hoppus almost plays. All right, he plays bass kind of like a guitar player.
Yeah.
Like just the way he writes parts. Like a lot of the times when you learn the different guitar parts and the bass parts, and like you'll notice there's a lot of similarities with just like how the riffs are written. They're basically, it's like they could have been written by the same person.
Gotcha.
It's like,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's very similar.
So what else on Always should we be looking for?
This tune is deceptively hard. Like there is a arpeggiated section that appears throughout this tune that requires a lot of string skips, and it's just pretty difficult to nail. I'm probably going to try to alternate pick it, but when I saw videos of Tom playing it, he actually played it with all downstrokes. And that's kind of what he's known for. He's known for having a monster like down picking, like technique.
Super fast, super clean.
Super clean. Yeah, and when I was transcribing this song, I tried playing it all down picks, and I haven't practiced it since then, but I found that because you're just doing one motion basically, you can actually play the parts cleaner. Because you aren't like accidentally brushing against strings when you have to up pick or like down, like when you have to cross pick between strings.
You're not like totally resetting after.
Yeah, and like at one point you're skipping, you're actually string skipping over two other strings, so it's like it's pretty difficult.
Okay.
But yeah. Cool. Really cool part.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at Always by Blink-182. Remember, if you have any questions, make sure to ask in the chat. UB Jurassic, a.k.a. Brian Turner, can get those to us, and we can take a look at them.
Before a few times, and I'm quite
That's nice. Cool. So I did have a question. I think this question might have been discovered elsewhere because it was already on this little sheet when before we started. But it is from Beware the Penguin. Could have been from the Discord chat. They want to know why you chose to use to notate the rhythm for always with the index and pinky for the octaves throughout, as opposed to the index and ring finger.
So it's a question about the fingering you chose for the octaves.
Mm-hmm.
Was that just based on watching?
Yeah, it's some of it's based on just like when a lot of the other chord shapes in the tune as well, like in context, when you're playing the power chords, right? You're using third and pinky.
Right. Yeah.
And so you can just drop the ring finger and it becomes the octave shape.
Okay.
Really, there's no wrong way to do it. I've seen him interchangeably do it.
Gotcha.
As well, so
Gotcha.
I mean, most people do interchangeably do it.
But I guess, like you said, if you are going from power chords.
Yeah, if I'm doing this, that's like way easier to do.
Right.
Than because I'm just like I have to shift my fingering every time.
Economy of motion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I guess that's what it comes down to, and just preference.
Yeah.
I've seen two-note power chords played with index and pinky as well, and I think it just comes down to a matter of it's a preferential thing.
Yeah.
And in some cases, I've found that using your index and pinky better isolates the notes that you want to attack and mutes surrounding strings so that they don't sound. I guess it just sort of depends on the style of playing, and you know.
It depends on like how big your hand is, and like just a lot of beginners prefer certain fingerings just because it's more comfortable. Like when I was starting to learn how to play guitar, I preferred playing power chords with my pinky instead of my ring finger, like two-note power chords, I mean. And that's just specifically something that I was more comfortable with.
I think for the bass part, it's definitely more comfortable for me to use my index and pinky because of the fret spacing, and it's larger. It's wider on bass for sure, especially in the lower positions, and it just lines up perfectly, for my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it is tough with bass.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a question. So have we seen this on the stream before?
I think maybe once before.
What are we looking at
once
here?
Or twice. This is a Sir. It's kind of a boutique high-end guitar.
It's so nice.
It's semi-hollow telly shape with 2 humbuckers and a 5-way switch. This thing just plays amazing. It's like all Sirs are just spot on perfect, basically.
Cool. All right.
Nice.
Anything else we wanted to say about Always and or Blink-182?
Yeah, beyond the arpeggios being hard, I did notice one thing that I didn't notice before, which is at the very end, the outro, it's almost like they split up the arpeggio. The bass player starts taking all these all the bass notes that so the arpeggio goes like this, right? Right. At the very end of the tune, Tom just plays this, while the bass player plays quarter notes, all the bass notes.
Okay.
So it's basically they split that thing into 2 different instruments. I thought that was kind of interesting, and it's another way of making parts.
Yeah, and something you might not notice if you're only playing one or the other.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to note about Blink in general is that their recordings are super clean. Like it's high production value, and I feel like their clean and consistent studio performance makes it easy to learn their songs and the format of them, because it's like each part is there and it'll occur again later on, and you're going to get the same exact thing. So with the Rocksmith arrangements, you have the opportunity to learn and practice those parts over and over again throughout the song.
Okay. And maybe one last thing musically, next time you listen to this tune, maybe just listen to the drums. Travis Barker is such an amazing drummer, and his drum parts in this tune are just well written and melodic. It's weird to call drum parts melodic, but just everything he writes always seems to fit in the song, and they play a part. He's not just playing a fill. It's part of the hook of the chorus, or it's a part of it sets up something else that happens later, and it's always like perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just so good at that.
Well composed.
Yeah,
for sure.
He's awesome.
Great. Well, thank you both very much. Right
you.
now, we are going to do our first giveaway of today's stream. We're going to give away one of two of these Ernie Ball prize packs. Ernie Ball has been extremely generous with us, and we're passing on that generosity to you as best as we can. If you want a chance to win this Ernie Ball prize pack, please listen to what UB Jurassic, a.k.a. Brian Turner, your Rocksmith community manager, says in the chat. He will give you instructions, and if you listen to those instructions and follow them, you can win one of these Ernie Ball prize packs, which includes 2 sets of strings, 1 6-string set for your guitar, 1 4-string set for bass. It's going to have an Ernie Ball peg winder, a package of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes, which one of our later guests can probably tell us more about. Huge fan of the old Wonder Wipes. You're going to get 1 black Ernie Ball strap. You're going to get 12 Ernie Ball picks. These are, we're still working on the medium size picks, and you're going to get 3 of the Rocksmith Pink Skullboy picks. So make sure you listen to what Brian UB Jurassic says in the chat if you want a chance to win that. And then if you do win, make sure you listen for or watch for a whisper from Brian so that he can get your name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. We do need all 3 pieces of information in order to get that to you. So your name, shipping address, and telephone number. And if you can, please split up the address as your region dictates as far as the format, because we don't always know how to format some of these addresses because, well, there's a lot of countries and they all format them a little bit differently. So if you can, just put in some sort of comma or break or hyphen between the different stages or lines of your address. That would help us get your prize to you. If you're in the U.S., we can probably figure it out. But still, get us the information and your phone number, and we cannot ship without that phone number. Coming up, we're going to have more music from the 2000s song pack, 2000 mix song pack 5. And we just had, if you're just joining us, we just played Blink-182's Always, which is, I believe, the 10th Blink-182 song in the Rocksmith library. Right now, we're going to move to something a little bit earlier in the 2000s and maybe a little heavier. How's it going?
Yep.
Hello. Do you have a microphone?
I have a microphone now.
Andrew Levin, note tracker. Rye Ken, note tracker. How you guys doing?
Great. Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Rye, thank you for joining us. Rye is filling in today.
Stepping in at the last minute.
Yeah. So we appreciate that.
Disclaimer. There it is. We'll see what happens.
So
It's a fun song.
You're playing the alt lead
Yes.
on this path, and Rye, you're playing the rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay. So first question, alt lead. What's going on there?
So there's a bunch of auxiliary parts in the song that are, like some background guitar parts, some clean tone stuff. There's some like whammy pedal, octavey stuff. And that's all really cool, and I wanted to make sure I included it. And actually, originally, what I have in the alt lead path was the lead path of the song, but some of the parts are a little more in the background, and I felt like with the lead path, I wanted to represent probably what people would most closely associate with the guitar part for the song.
Right.
So the lead path, which will not be played today, is kind of a mishmash of what I'm playing in the alt lead and what Rye's playing in the rhythm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know if when this was recorded, did they have one guitarist or 2?
They had one, but he layered everything.
Layered. Okay.
Yeah.
And would you consider the extra parts that you're playing, the parts that are different in the alt lead, are those more like studio vamping, or are those things that they would do live?
Definitely studio. They didn't play any of them live.
Okay.
Cool. They only play with one guitar live, and as I said, it's a mishmash of what Ryan and I are both playing. I mean, if I can get a little volume real quick, I can just show you. There's 2 kind of main pretty much what Rye is playing is what he would play live, actually, but there's one part that goes... What was it? Right? And that's what the lead guitarist plays live, and then there's another rhythm part.
Okay.
Right, and so that's basically the difference.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take a look. This is Bodies by Drowning Pool, available now on Rocksmith in the 2000s mix song pack 5. And don't forget, you can ask questions if you have any to UB Jurassic there in the chat with you.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
I have to sing at least part of that, if not the counting.
That's a nice tone.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that
I
tone.
love that
It
tone.
sounds like almost better than the tone on the song.
One thing I wanted to ask about is chord shapes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you have like drop tuning, and this is in D drop C.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you have drop tuning, you'll see a lot of the sort of bar, like single finger bar chords.
Mm-hmm.
But they really do a lot with the sort of range that the drop allows you.
Yeah, and that actually brings me to something I was going to talk
Oh,
about.
how convenient.
Which is, so the guitar player is from New Orleans.
Okay.
I guess he grew up playing a lot of funk music.
Okay.
And he was saying that he's pretty heavily influenced by funk.
Yeah.
And so, if I can get a little volume. Right, if you put this in the clean tone, he's actually kind of using, and if you put it in the game, it'll detect either way. But basically what he's doing is he's kind of using this shape and then playing the bottom part for part of the time and the top part for the other part. So it's kind of like you get this like...
Right.
Right, but he's not really moving his hand at all. He's just playing a different part of the... he's just playing different strings. And again, if you put that into clean tone, and also there's a wah-wah on it, he said he was really influenced by John Frusciante.
Yeah, okay.
And so that's actually pretty apparent. Definitely if you like that style of playing, I recommend learning some funk, Chili Peppers, but then you can go farther back, learn some Earth, Wind, and Fire and that kind of thing too. So yeah.
Cool. So the shape. So if you were just to isolate the sort of higher shapes, what would you be?
You'd be playing root 5th octave here.
Okay.
And then this is like a G minor triad with a D on the bottom.
Thank you.
Right? So, yeah, the intonation on this guitar is ridiculous. Like that, I can change these strings. Anyways. Right? So if you're just playing it in a...
Yeah, that's a...
Right?
That's kind of a sleazy funk jam, right? Like
and then you
like
add those...
Sinister funk? Is that a genre? That's a genre that I would listen to.
Evil funk.
Yeah, that's my... I mean, that sounds perfect for...
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of the guitar part.
Okay.
One thing that's interesting about the song too, that a lot of people don't realize, is it's not about killing people. It's about moshing.
Oh yeah, right. That was people still mosh, I think.
Yeah, I went into mosh pit for the first time in like 10 years. Like in front of Anthony was there.
Uh-oh.
It was at Hail the Sun show.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I gotta just go in the pit. I don't care. I'm doing it.
I have glasses.
Yeah.
That's my excuse.
Yeah.
I'm
but
soft.
Yeah. But yeah, it was supposed to be a moshing anthem, and I guess that they were pretty.
Well, I mean, at the time, it was used in a lot of like ads for any time you needed that sort of like percussive feeling. I guess. Yeah, it was one of those. So sports, movies. I think it was used in.
Yeah.
Action. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very versatile, I guess. In the fact, and rhythm part, pretty.
I mean, it's pretty simple tune, but yeah, I mean, you have the obvious thing of being able to do power chords with, parallel frets, I guess, one finger power chords.
That's a better way of saying it than I did.
What's that?
That's a better way of saying that than I did.
What did you say?
I don't know.
Anyway, and the octave part. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straight ahead. I don't have much to say other. You covered a lot. Because I find this to be a pretty cool, interesting, pretty kind of creative part.
Yeah.
And how I like how they add in, they sort of like sneak in those extra layers.
Yeah. The whammy
fun.
pedal part and everything. Yeah, it's cool. They also seem like cool dudes. Like I looked up interviews. They seem like cool guys. So.
Is that band still around? Are they still touring?
Their singer passed away very shortly after the song was released.
But I think that
So they never
I'm
got
pretty
any,
sure they continued on.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a new singer, and their new music it's cool. It sounds different, but I like it. He's a good singer.
All right, cool. All right, anything else we got for Drowning Pool and Bodies? Okay, we're gonna take a look at one of the 60-day challenge videos that we have. So there's a concept. It used to be something baked into Rocksmith, but now we subsist on the spirit of the 60-day challenge, and that's simply if you want to start playing Rocksmith, play every day for 60 days and see where it gets you. See how far you can get, how much you can learn in that 60 days. Coming up is a video for Jamie, who took the 60-day challenge, and while that's going on, UB Jurassic is going to give away 5 copies of today's or this week's DLC, the 2000s mix song pack 5, and then we'll come back after that, play another song, and have another giveaway later on. We'll see you very soon.
Learn a song.
Rocksmith is the fastest way to learn to play guitar. Plug in any electric guitar or bass into your PC or game console and choose from more than 700 songs.
Learn to play in 60 days with Rocksmith. Available now.
Didn't you write this song?
Yes. But I forgot how to play it on guitar.
Is that normal?
I don't know. Maybe. See, I don't remember any of this. It's good, though. It's a good song.
It's not bad.
Not bad. I'm now wondering if I wrote this.
So that was Brennan Small and Steve Agee, not Jamie. Maybe we'll see Jamie next week, but that's fine. I still mentioned the 60-day challenge, and it still is true. So yeah, check it out if you haven't. But we hope you are playing Rocksmith with us. We're gonna have a couple people play some Rocksmith right now. Oh, hello. Hi. Do you have a mic? I spring it on them. They never know when I'm going to jump in, so they never know when to make you live. I could probably give them some sort of heads up, but I don't, because it's not my style. How you doing? So, Tobias, how are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
You have not been on the stream in quite some time.
Yeah, it's been years.
It's been years. So I think we were talking, and you haven't been on the stream since before I was a moderator on the stream.
Yeah, true.
So it's been that long in my world, and that's as far as I know back in time is when I started. So, anything
so you never
that
watched it? Oh, you just hurt Dan's feelings.
Oh no, I'm sure it was great.
Oh, it was.
So you were joining. So this was the song that we're going to play right now, though that you're going to play. I'm not going to play it. The song that we're going to play was your selection.
Yeah.
Right. So what are we playing, Tobias?
We are going to play Plug-in Baby by Muse.
Plug-in Baby by Muse, also from the 2000s, the early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Early-ish.
And from 2001, I think.
2001, yeah, I got it.
And also from really early on in Rocksmith's history.
Yeah, this was an on-disc track for Rocksmith 1. So this is one of the earliest tracks, back when the whole thing could have been a 2000s mix. Well, not really. That's a lie.
Pretty much. I think
welcome to the stream.
I first played this song in Rocksmith in 2012, I think.
Yeah, because you've been with the team for how long?
About 6 years.
6 years.
So I worked on Rocksmith 2014.
Cool. And with us, and you're a senior engineer, is that right?
Yeah, senior core engineer.
Core engineer, interesting. And with us, we have Greg Studley, note tracker.
Hello.
I almost put, instead of note tracker, I put something else, but then I looked it up and it means something else. I'll tell you about it later.
Now I really want to know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they all don't want to know.
It's probably fine. Yeah. It probably shouldn't come up. So yeah, what made you decide to pick Plug-in Baby?
It's a song that I've been playing on and off for quite a long time. It's a fun one. I think it's a pretty great finger practice.
Yeah.
It's also one of those songs that I feel sort of, it makes you feel like you're better than you actually are.
Okay. No, I know what you mean. I mean, you get that it lets you do something that you like and is really cool and gives you that like sense of
it
pride
sounds
and
kind of difficult, but it's mostly the lead part is mostly played in one position.
Okay.
So, but it's a pretty good practice for using all four fingers as well.
Good, which is use that pinky.
Yep.
Yeah, and so how long have you been playing guitar? Did you start before you joined the Rocksmith team?
I took lessons for maybe a year when I was 11, but other than that, I've pretty much only played with Rocksmith.
Okay.
So I started playing with the first game before I actually worked here.
Oh,
then
cool.
I went and ended up working here on the second game.
That's cool. That's really cool. I didn't know that. And so this song, you're playing in E standard. The bass is in drop D. Drop D. So how much use do they make of that? Or
a bit.
Range. A bit. Okay.
A bit of it. It's not heavily reliant upon that. But a lot of it is actually a bit of a riff that's placed on kind of these three, kind of moves around.
Yeah.
Which is actually based upon kind of like a chord shape, actually, but it's played all separately.
Yeah.
But that's the bulk of what's going on in the song. But there is the use of that low end.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. This is Plug-in Baby by Muse on Rocksmith 1. love it. I love that one. That's good.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Yeah.
So parts that it played like arpeggios, and there were probably I guess some arpeggios mixed into that.
For the bass part?
Well, yeah. The bass. Both parts, I would say, have some arpeggio or arpeggio-like sections.
There is a part in the repeating lead part that is sort of an arpeggio. Yeah, like.
Okay. Yeah. And then the bass kind of continues. It's separated, like you said.
Yeah. The bass part certainly does. It's all based. It's kind of like if you think about it from a guitarist point of view, it's like a power chord, 3-note power chord shape. And it's just using these 3 notes, but that's primarily what's going on through the verses.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And had some questions about these 2 guitars. I don't know if have we seen this guitar?
I think it's been on the stream maybe once years ago.
Okay. What do we have?
This is an Epiphone Wilshire.
Okay. And this is the one that lives at your desk?
Yep.
Most
I've had it at my desk for quite a long time.
That's why we don't see it on the streams.
Yeah, exactly. It's mostly just sits there, but I play it occasionally. Okay. I think it was on the Surf Pack stream a long time ago.
Oh, okay. And I'm pretty sure we've seen this bass.
I think this Ibanez has made its way. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was covering the headstock, but yeah, this is one of the sound gears. These are quite fun to play.
Cool. All right. Anything else we wanted to say about Muse or Plug-in Baby? You look like you have something to say. Or that's just how you
I just looked like this.
Yeah.
I can add that I once watched a YouTube video of Muse playing this live, where Matt Bellamy, the guitarist, played the main riff to this song like behind his head with the guitar behind his back.
Well, why didn't you do that?
I was gonna say, have you tried?
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lack of space behind me. Really,
maybe not with that guitar. We'll get you a different guitar to try that one with. All right. Well, thank you both very much, and thank you for joining us on the stream again.
Thank you.
We'll hopefully won't be another 4 years, 5 years, however long it's been. We'll get back out here pretty often. If you like what you're hearing on the 2000s Mix 5 song pack, there are some other song packs that you may be into. As I mentioned earlier, this week we had the, I believe, 10th Blink-182 song that Rocksmith has released. So a couple of the other Blink-182 song packs, specifically the Blink-182 song pack and the Blink-182 song pack 2 came out. The first one came out in, I lost it, 2012, all the way back in 2012. And that one included All the Small Things, Damn It, and What's My Age Again. The Blink-182 song pack 2 came out pretty recently in early 2017. Seems like only yesterday to me. I think it was might have been one of the first song packs that I was a part of, if that sounds right. But that one included Adam's song Feeling This, First Date, I Miss You, and The Rock Show. We also had Blink-182's Stay Together for the Kids that came out just last year in October on the Variety Song Pack 18. In addition, we have, you might have guessed, you might know, but you might have guessed, we have had 4 other 2000s Mix song packs. Those have been going since 2016, and we have bands like Against Me, Between the Buried and Me, Panic at the Disco, Crossfade, Shine Down the Fray, all the bands that you love from the 2000s. Well, some of the bands that you love, probably not all of them, but if you want more, there's a way you can request them. Make sure you hit up our request app or our request page. I still say app. It's a force of habit. I can't break it, even though it's been a page and not an app for, I think, over a year now. Is that right? People that aren't on camera yet?
Yes, it's a page on our website.
I know that, but how long has it been?
About 18 months.
About 18 months.
That's
so
very specific,
well over
actually.
a year.
I will tell you a secret about it too.
Uh-oh.
But once you introduce us, because nobody wants to hear from just the disembodied voice.
They know who you are.
Are you sure?
They know who you are. Dan Emmerich.
Hi.
The
Hi.
ghost of Dan
How's it
Emmerich.
going?
The ghost of Dan Emmerich.
That's better than what
I'm
have
a
written.
shell of my former self.
And Chris Wu. So Chris Wu, you are the international product manager.
That is correct.
And Dan Emmerich, you were a Brian in training, and now I believe you are a substitute Brian.
I'm a substitute Brian. Yeah, I've made it. I'm sort of like a trainee Brian, but
like
with responsibilities.
Exactly.
So
exactly. So you can still carry out.
Yeah. I still carry out the
Brian
the Brian
task.
agenda. What I didn't know was the old Facebook app version of our request thing. I thought this was like the super special technology, and it was actually just a custom tunnel to like a database on the other side. Like all this time, I thought it was like, well, there's no way you can unravel that. They're like, well, this is basically just like a custom web page, right? And I'm like, no. Wait. So when we put it all together and we made the improvements, it was not as hard to make the improvements as we thought, but it was definitely a huge quality of life improvement for anybody using that tool,
especially people who weren't on Facebook.
Yeah,
which was
specifically on the U.S. Facebook page. So if if you were an international player, if you were anywhere other than U.S., then Facebook automatically directed you to your local or to the global page, and it just wasn't there. So
like you could potentially, like if you knew how, you could maybe like kind of
direct link.
We direct linked people to it to force them to go there. Yeah.
But if you just heard us say, go to the Facebook page and use the request app, and you weren't in the U.S. or Canada,
I don't know where that is, says Mario.
That is.
It's a terrible Mario.
Probably offensive to someone.
Not to Mario.
And you are playing the final song of this week's song
you
pack.
said all your favorites from the 2000s. This is the only. This is this is a really cool week for me because there's this belief out there, right?
Sure.
That when we don't put in the song that somebody is thinking of in their head, like there's I really wish you guys would do this song by this band, and we don't. They're like, who would ever want that? You guys just put in whatever you want. We really don't do that. But there are opportunities occasionally when, the masses have spoken, we've gotten the right clearances, or we've gotten the right requests, and it just so happens that just like everybody out there has favorite songs, one of our songs happens to make it in. And that's what this one is for me.
I've been pushing for this song. The first time I pitched it for a pack was back in the Rocksmith 1 DLC days.
See, even we have to...
Oh, we get in line. We get in line, and we hope and we suggest and we ask, but we never know.
But it's saying app. I'm still saying app, Dan.
It's okay.
It's been a year and a half. I'm still saying request app.
It's Stacy's Mom by Fountains of Wayne.
That was a long answer to this question.
Yeah, it was.
Very simple.
And I assume you have both seen the movie, not the video, the movie.
The film? Was there a film
There
adaptation?
is a movie called Stacy's Mom.
Oh.
And
that sounds inappropriate for work.
It is inappropriate because it's about 4 kids coming of age, going through puberty, having a crush on their friend Stacy's mom.
Following.
So it is loosely inspired by the song, but then it's got 31% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Does it feature the song in the movie?
No, it does not. And that's why I bring it up.
Why watch it then?
Well, it's like if being John Malkovich couldn't get John Malkovich to play.
Right, starring Brad Pitt as John Malkovich. No, it's not. So for some reason there is a song loosely inspired by there's a movie loosely inspired by the song, which does not include the song. I don't understand. So avoid at all costs. It has not gotten good reviews. Let's just say that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So neither of you note tracked this because neither of you are note trackers.
That's right.
Who did note track this one?
Somebody who's not in the
I believe this
is
a Sam Jam
right now.
Okay.
So.
Hashtag Sam Jam.
So there was a room for one of us both of us in this case to swoop in.
Because you were both pushing for this.
Yeah, and I figured it's like, well, of course I'm going to be able to play this one. And it's like, well, Chris Wu has already claimed one track. I'm like, what? How dare you?
Let me say that when I claimed this way in advance, I was like, look, I want to play this, but I also know that Dan's going to want to play the other one.
You put in a good word.
I'm pretty sure I put both your names down.
Yeah.
I said earlier that I'm, you can tell I'm a real Fountains of Wayne fan because this isn't my favorite song. The hit single is like,
the fact that you can
so many
name other songs.
Oh yeah, no, they have 7 or 8 albums, and I have them all, and I love them. It's just their version of power pop definitely resonates with me. Very clever little slice of life stories.
I like it.
Yeah, so I if I'm lucky, we'll get a second Fountains song, but I'm not expecting it because this is their biggest song, and this is the one that people would be inspired to play.
You can go with those requests.
I do. I know. You tell me where to go all the time, Chris Wu.
And it'll be in the.
But yes, it would be rocksmith.com and click on the requests tab at the top.
Yeah. Or rocksmith.com/requests.
Song requests?
Just requests.
Or just requests?
Actually, I think either will work.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Go to rocksmith.com. And it's at the top.
Click on the buttons,
I was trying to be helpful. That's what I get. So this is yours.
Yes.
This is a Chris Wu original.
Well, no, that makes it sound like I made it or something.
Yes.
That is not. This is
hand carved out of soap.
World famous luthier Chris Wu.
Yes, that's what LTD stands for. It stands for Woo.
I mean, it could be a W from over here.
It's pronounced
very stylized.
Yes.
Yeah.
The LT and D are silent.
So what is this? What is this sort of powder blue situation?
So this is Sonic Blue is the name of this
I'm
finish.
sorry.
And
Thank
it's
you very much.
LTD X-Tone PS1. It's a semi-hollow guitar made by LTD. I got it for a great price.
You did.
And like I dig the look. I dig the shape. It's kind of like a Les Paul, but kind of stretched.
And it's also a semi-hollow.
Okay.
Like we
Semi-hollow,
have
Les Paul limo.
several other semi-hollows on
That's
the show
true.
today. So this is the sort of affordable brand of ESP. But when this came, you got like this ridiculously good deal on it.
I got it for like half
say
of
how much, yeah.
MSRP or so.
But when it came, it wasn't playable. Remember?
Right. It did have an issue with it.
It had an issue which was very strange. The neck was not set correctly, so we could not set the action. But it's a bolt-on neck.
Yes.
So this is the first time I've ever gotten a chance to do this to a guitar. I took the neck off and then put the screws back in a different position. One of them was drilled a little too deep, and they used that as the pilot hole, so it tilted everything. When I put it back the other way, then it was fine, and we put a shim in there.
The gap was even like, you could see it on
Yeah,
the
you could see
neck,
it. It was
yeah.
like, this somewhere wrong here. So, but again, you got a really good deal on it. Maybe
It's
that was part of
actually
the
a
issue.
Dan original.
Yes, now, but now I'm very jealous because I was like, oh, I wish I had gotten one of those. But it's super nice. I'm really happy that you're nice enough to leave it here in the office so we can play it too.
Yeah. And while I've got you all talking, we do have a question about the Marshall. The Wikiway wants to know if that is a JCM 800 or what.
No.
What is it?
That's a Plexi. That's a Plexi reissue. So I forget what the model number is. We have a JCM 800 upstairs.
Okay.
We also have a Mode 4. We have a lot of nice Marshall amps here. But no, that one's a Plexi, which means there's no. It's a Plexi reissue. There's no master volume, so the only way to get it to sound like you've heard it on the records is to turn it up to like 18 or whatever it goes to. It's like we can't do that in an office environment. That's why we keep it here, because it's really not. This is basically the head version of the Bluesbreaker combo too. Like the Bluesbreaker, I think, is a 50 watt. This is a 100 watt head. Okay. So like we could melt faces and get ourselves fired. That's why it's set dressing.
Cool. And this song, you're playing the lead path.
Yes, I'm playing the lead path.
You're playing rhythm. There is an alt lead on this, and though you didn't note track it, did you play the alt lead, or do you know enough about what the differences are?
We know what the difference is. It's
okay.
Two notes at the end of the solo.
Yeah, the end of the solo, there's a harmony part for literally 2 measures, and it's 2 notes. And Chris was like, we should both play lead. We'll do alt, lead, and get that. And this is the first time you're playing lead on the stream?
I think so.
I think it is. And
I rarely play guitar
was
on
too
the stream.
chicken to do that. I'm like,
And
no, I'm not a lead guitarist.
I wanted Dan to help cover for my errors.
Yeah,
and I have 2 people playing lead.
You just wanted to share the blame.
Joke's on you. I would have introduced new ones.
Which is fine. I can still blame those on you.
Right. The rhythm
Everything
path
would
is
go on you.
It was throwing me off. I can't.
Yeah. The rhythm path is easier. The bass is also kind of fun. I tried that as well. But rhythm is really sort of meat and potatoes, power chords type rock.
Sure.
With that little riff that you will hear over and over again. And it makes it more fun, honestly. So
All right. Well, this is Stacy's Mom by Fountains of Wayne.
Ask me about Fountains of Wayne.
Stacy's mom has got it going on. 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 Stacy, can I come over after school?
There we have it.
Resolve, damn it, resolve.
So yeah, I know you've both been looking forward to that. For
yes,
a long time, so
it kind of felt surreal to finally be here because again, we ask for stuff and it literally sometimes takes years to get the clearances if they even go through. Like if there's enough other evidence that says, this deserves to be in the library. Does it teach you something? Does it feel like it could be useful for somebody to? It's got to sort of fit a lot of criteria, and then sometimes we get the clearance and it's like, all right, well, we'll put that on the schedule. But that might not happen for a long time, too. It depends on what else is going on that's already in the pipeline.
So you get to watch it sort of like trickle through. And
it takes about 2 months for the note trackers to do a song. So like 2 months ahead of time, like my
remember hearing it,
2 months ago, I was like,
Stacey's mom is
Stacey's mom's being tested. Stacey's mom's being tested. It's great, So lots of fun.
Yep. The original idea that I wanted to do, which I thought would be funny, is for Stacy's mom to appear in a pack alongside Jesse's Girl, as well as some other song named after
there's a theory
person.
that Jesse's Girl
is
Jenny, the one who put her number on the wall and grew up to be Stacy's mom, because we never find out what Jesse's Girl's name is. So could have been Jenny
or Stacy's mom's name either.
See, that's the playlist. Feel free to make yourself an 80s girl song playlist.
The Stacy's mom auditory universe.
Stacy's mom universe.
I will point out that the 2000s Mix 5 song wasn't from the 80s.
No, that's true.
No, but thematically, it's an evolution.
Yeah,
it sounds also too.
Right.
it could be from the 80s.
It's got a nice 3x structure.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
If it's true.
If it's true. Look,
based on a
true
story.
True. It can be true in your hearts.
It is.
I know it's true. It's true for Dan. It's like what 80% true for Chris. I think. I don't think he's totally sold.
I don't know what. Yeah, no, only.
I read an interview with the guys from Fountains of Wayne where they actually said like, being in a pop band, we actually have a quota to hit of songs that have girls' names in them.
Right.
So Stacy's mom, they have a song called Maureen. They have a song called Denise. They have Hey Julie. Which I'm sure you're familiar with, knowing a Julie, as you do.
Yeah, I do. I don't know the song.
No, you don't? Okay. It's actually really cute.
Okay. Actually, listen.
Everything they do is really cute.
Well, it is power pop.
It is power pop.
Which is,
And
some people hadn't seen that term before.
I mean, to me, it was that like power pop has been around forever, but like Cheap Trick is a really good example of power pop, which is very nice poppy harmonies, like really nice production, but generally some major key stuff, but with some of the crunch of distorted guitars that you would hear in harder rock. So it's Rick Springfield is a perfect example of power pop from back in the day too, or pop rock. But power pop specifically, like there's some crossover
it is a
with
classification
pop
of rock.
Yeah.
It's all sort of
sure.
in the rock umbrella.
Yeah, there's a lot of other Elvis Costello is sometimes lumped in with power pop, depending on some of his stuff.
See that.
Material Issue in the '90s was a big standard bearer of power pop. Their hit Valerie Loves Me, if you've ever heard that, it was like really crunchy as hell guitars and catchy as hell melodies, and that's what it is: crunchy guitars and catchy melodies. That's power pop.
I kind of put anything contemporary that was inspired by early Beatles.
Yeah, there's definitely you can trace a line back to the Beatles for a lot of the stuff too.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Anything else we wanted to say about Fountains of Wayne?
Don't get Dan started.
For my first slide,
Speaking of slides, we'll have more on that. But right now, we're going to give away our. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for letting us do this.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It was my pleasure. I was glad I was able to be here with you. But if you want a chance to win the second of our 2 Ernie Ball prize packs, please listen to what Brian, a.k.a. UB Jurassic, is saying in the chat right now. If you listen to what he says, or just follow along with what everybody else is doing, including following the page, because you cannot win if you are not following the page, you will have a chance to win this Ernie Ball prize pack, which has 1 set of guitar strings, 12 picks from Ernie Ball, 3 pink Skullboy picks from us, 1 black Ernie Ball guitar strap, a package of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes. That's who was going to talk about the Wonder Wipes, is Dan, but he's off the mic now. Do you want to say some things about the Wonder Wipes?
Yes, the Wonder Wipes clean and condition your guitar. This is a little sampler pack because there's multiple kinds of Wonder Wipes that you may not know about. But those Wonder Wipes, there's cleaners for like polish and getting the grime off of the body of your guitar. There's string cleaners, which if you use them, they extend the life of your strings. They remove some of the oils that you would normally have in your fingers that you transfer to the strings. That's part of what causes them to wear out. So you can extend the life of those. And when you are in between changing strings, you can also use the third Wonder Wipe, the fretboard conditioner, to reinvigorate the fretboard, put some of the essential oils back into it.
And now, how often? Just if you had a guitar that was
Which I do.
frequent use,
Yeah, I do.
You have a couple. How often would you go through the set? Would you make it a sort of
it's sort of as it's necessary.
Okay.
You can always wipe down your strings with just a regular cotton cloth and just sort of make sure that there's a little grind. But I'd say once a week. Also, these are pretty moist as moist towelettes go. I've gotten 3 or 4 guitars out of a single wonder wipe for the string cleaner.
That's a good call. So maybe you can't if you only have one guitar, don't necessarily save it from use to use. But if you have multiple guitars,
absolutely
hit all of them
It's
once.
actually a super nice way to just wipe down everything that's
restring
out.
everything, and you get the bodies of the guitars. Yeah,
that's minty fresh. Yeah, Chris wants me to say minty fresh, but
okay.
It's true. It's probably a big
square.
That's why I'm supposed to say it.
Don't check to see if they are minty. Don't
taste
or
them.
Taste
they will not taste minty fresh.
I guess I won't even recommend smelling them.
They smell like alcohol. They smell suspiciously like alcohol.
Suspiciously, yeah.
Just like my uncle.
So yeah, if you want a chance to win this Ernie Ball prize pack, please, hopefully maybe somebody's already won it, but listen to what UB Jurassic says in the chat, and make sure you look out for a whisper from Brian, UB Jurassic, so that you can get your name, your address, and your telephone number. We need all that information to get that to you. Coming up tomorrow, if you are wondering what is next week's DLC, well, tomorrow, if you are in our forums, we will have a clue. Probably from RS222, who generally handles the clue managing for us, posted either by UB Spheraxia or UB Jurassic. That'll be in the forums in the morning, and that will give you a little tease of what's coming next week. Next week has a song that this guy is particularly excited about, and then we'll reveal more throughout the weekend on social media. If you want to check that out on Facebook, we are Rocksmith. On Twitter and Instagram, we are at Rocksmith Game. And on Monday, we will have our 19th Encore stream. Every month, what we do here, as you probably know, we play through the week's DLC. We talk about it. We have a good time. On the final Monday of most months, we have the Rocksmith Encore. This month's Encore is going to be all about Rooster by Alice in Chains. Brian McCune and Arthur Von Nagel are going to sit here, and we are going to have a discussion about sort of what makes Rooster. Should be really interesting, and we hope we'll see you there on Monday. Anything else coming up? I think that's it. Friday, new clue. Next week, new song pack. Monday, Encore. And Thursday, we'll be back here. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to take one more look at the trailer for the 2000s Mix Song Pack 5, and we will see you soon.
your dad will doubt your mom. Could you